What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Convo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in.
All right, what's going on, Cuzzos? It is your host, Mo Lovely.
And Renaissance Ronnie.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. And of course, we are on our season of Ready to Love Miami. And we're going to go ahead and recap episodes 5, 6. We are sorry for this commentary kind of coming in as doubles, but we all have lives. And so therefore, we'll start picking up consistency because obviously our number one show is back. Ready.
Love and Marriage.
Love and Marriage. Shout out to mix them all up. Love and Marriage, Huntsville. And so we are definitely excited about that. So yeah. But let's go ahead and jump into it because it's a lot going on. So let's see. So who's still like winning for us? So looking at episode 5, episode 6, hands down, my man is still Samson. I love Samson. Samson has been consistent across the board. I know he's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but like there's literally not been any red flags that I've seen from Samson. So Samson is amazing to me. As far as like my girl of consistency, and like I think that's ready to love, I would say the thing is like I'm not sure if I really have a girl like that, but if I would say consistency, I would say Brandy. I mean, she's been open. Yeah, she's been open to the process of trying to make other connections, but she's definitely like you'll never see her like go back on like at the end of the day, my strongest connections with Mike, whatever. So, but I don't think that she's ever been disrespectful. I don't think she's ever been like she's just been open. She's like, look, this is the show. And so therefore I signed up for this show and this is a part of the process. So I'm going to participate. So I appreciate that. Would I say that, do I feel like she's still ready to love? She could be ready to love. I'm just not sure if I really, even though I know it's her connection or her main connection, I'm just not sure if it's Mike.
Yeah, I think she's ready to love too. I don't think Mike is the person she should be loving. I mean, I think they seem like they have a good chemistry and connection on the show, but I don't think he's the one. And while I think Samson is great and I think he's ready to love, I don't think Brandy and Samson make a good match.
Yeah, no.
I think it'll probably come down to Samson and Charisse.
Yes, I do. I think that as well. And honestly, I do feel like Samson like really balances Charisse because I think what we see and what people don't like about Charisse, where she can be, like some people say it's rude, blunt, whatever. But I think that Samson I think he gives her a little bit of a security blanket where it's like, you're good, like you're safe with me. Whereas I think that she's been on this show feeling like since from day one, she's been up on, this is what she said 3 times. So she's been like up on the social. I don't think but yeah, so I think that Samson kind of gives her just this security blanket of being like, listen, you're safe with me. Like even if it didn't end up going that way, like I'm just letting you know that my intentions are pure. I do want to get to know you. I do want to, further this to see if there is something. And if it is, great. If it's not, I'm still cool. You're still whatever. I'm not going to backtrack on any of the things I said about you or how I feel about you. Like, and so that's why I like Samson. Like, man, if I was a widow right now, I'd be like, I would have rolled into the,
I said yes, widow. I know you always say widow. It's not divorcee.
I'll be rolling up in Samson's DMs like, hey, Samson, I'm ready. But yeah, no, like he's and I didn't realize this until this past episode. I did not realize that Samson was 48.
Yeah, that's why he was like, look, it's time. That's what he was like,
Oh
it's
my
time. He was like,
gosh.
do you know how old I am? Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
time.
wow. Wow. That's
He
interesting.
looks
So they
great
must have
though.
no, he looks great and but it's definitely I feel like telling me that he must have had some years of him being out there being a nice tenderoni and whatever. And then he was like, okay, it's time for me to settle down. But yeah, so that's that. So I would say for episode 5, just recapping, nothing really stood out to me, but specifically this date with Randall and Jamala. What's your thoughts on their connection?
I think that I think Jamala likes Randall more than Randall likes Jamala. Let's start there.
Hmm.
And not to say that Randall does not like. I think he is feeling Jamala, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Jamala is feeling him more than he is feeling her. Randall is still. I mean, and that's the point of the show. He's still feeling his way around because
Mm-hmm.
like every Randall's on like a lot of the ladies' list,
Mm-hmm.
but and Jamala has seemed to like focus in on Randall. I just don't know. It seems like a if although Jamala is pretty young, it's I don't know. It just seems like a I don't know.
Like
It's a
a
maturity
auntie.
difference. Yeah, it just seems like
Yeah.
it seems like it's an age gap that is not. So I guess it would be that Jamala just seems way more mature and older than she is,
Mm-hmm.
and Randall has more of a younger vibe. So um, I actually would like to see Randall date Looney more. Maybe even Brandy,
Hmm.
even though Looney is sticking out for me with Randall. Like I don't think they've given each other enough um, time together. I think they would. I think they would be vibe. I think they would vibe. Their personalities, from what I see from the show, I think it would vibe together. But they haven't dated.
Right. Yeah.
Looney
Yeah.
was so stuck on Justice, and I'm like, Looney, why do you like him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he must have whispered some sweet nothings, like some cosmic love in her ear that made her be like, "Yes, you're on my vibe. Like we get each other." Because
Mm-mm.
yeah, I'm confused about that too. It definitely seems anti who she has shown up to be. But hey, if justice is what she wants, then I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see at the reunion. It will be funny to see if there is any if she like reached out to him and they talked or whatever like that. He probably be like this. No, once I left the process, I left the process. What was the point of talking to anybody?
That's what he gives me because he seemed like he was over it anyway. Because
Yes, he was like, okay.
so I wonder if Zoe will show up to the reunion.
Child, I think if Zoe shows up to the reunion, it's gonna be all hell on wheels. Honestly, like I really think that like they're gonna like dig into him, and he's gonna probably try to dig into Sharice. But I think Tommy's gonna definitely probably be like, "Nah, we're not having that. Like, you're not
Right.
gonna like you were wrong." Now that is the one thing that I will say, and is I do hope that somebody definitely like called him and like, yo, I'm sorry, like you definitely need to be checked on this. But yeah. So but yeah, back to Rara and Jamala,
Oh,
definitely. She'd be like, Rara.
uh,
So
even her friends was like, rah rah. Okay.
there's this out is it Peacock or Hulu? I don't know. It's this daggone show that sometimes uh my son watches and it's like rah rah the line. So when she calls him that, that's exactly what I'll be thinking of. I'll be like this rah rah. But anyway, so no, but yeah, I agree with you. I think that they are definitely more of it seems very just friend vibe, because even when they like shared the kiss, um when they was making a olive juice
Yeah,
uh
that's weird.
candles, and she was like, this kiss solidified so much for me. And I was like, did it? Because it definitely seemed like you was just I hate to say it because I don't think that mothers should be kissing on their sons on their lips, but I do know that some mothers, like from birth to all the way to adulthood, be kissing their
Uh,
sons. on the lips, but it definitely gave that because it was like a little peck. Now she could have been like, I know because you have other connections, like I ain't gonna be over here just tonguing you down. So it
Right.
could have been that, but it definitely was very awkward for me. And I was like, this didn't really seem like whatever, but she felt like it solidified some things. So but yeah, I don't rah rah. I think that and this is the thing, like I think he feels like Jamala would be the best for him in the sense of probably what she brings to the table, the maturity aspect, all those things.
Mhm.
But he is still fooling around and tooling around with the idea because with Kayla, because Kayla is just a very big sex like
I'm gonna say Kayla is they like the way she looks.
yeah, it's a little like sex kittenish, and she
Yeah,
like and she'll who knows what she's whispered in rah rah and all them the ears
yeah.
because Mike can't. It's really interesting. Like even though he's already stated like no, you're not my age bracket, you're in my age bracket, all these sorts of things. I'm like you're definitely telling Kayla something. Like you're definitely
Yeah.
keeping her on the side or
It's like
saying.
he can't leave her alone. It's like he'd be like, "No, I'm making the most connections with Brandy. Kayla's not really in my age group, but then he can't stop. Like he
Right.
can't stay away from her.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what kind of
So I don't
chalk?
know if she's being used. So if Brandy being like, no, I'm good at the end of this, or is he just saying like, shoot, if Brandy don't end up taking me, then at least I can slide up in Kayla's DMs and be like, what you want to do? You in Miami, I'm in Miami. Let's do this.
Right?
Like, let's go ahead and just have this nice night of sexcapades that we was over here
And she
feeling
probably would be down too.
because that's oh every time he sees her, he be like, but Kayla just sexy. So I feel like, okay.
Yeah,
And that becomes really wearisome to me because I'm like, all right, well, you just see me as this. So I don't think you think that I have any value.
she
Um,
likes it.
yeah.
She
So
likes
that's
all.
that. And so talking about Mike and Kayla, I thought it was weird moving on to this whole little shady outward let's out each other and what we feel dinner that they had when he was like stand up and I was like what is this, what are you doing, like this don't even what you call it. And they definitely spliced Brandy being like is this some a bar up in here, we need some drinks. I was like she first of all
Oh,
the
when he said, "Can I stand up there with her?"
yes, because
Like
you
what
know
the?
Mike was sitting next to her. So the thing is when Brandy was saying all of this, Mike was sitting next to her, and I said, so the person that was in the editing room didn't see that we saw his arm. I'm
Right.
like, come on, y'all, like you gotta. So she wasn't even saying that when that was happening. I was like, y'all tried it, but okay. She probably said that when they was like, we just gonna film some stuff before we say action, and then they probably picked her up because she is always talking about how she need to
Probably said,
drink.
"Before we get started, is there a bar in here?"
Exactly.
And they
She is
sliced it in.
always she is always talking about her having a drink, but she is a flight attendant, so I don't know if they're able to drink on the job, but she probably be throwing them little mini joints back in little Sunner homes. So she be like, "Ooh, this flight is a little the turbulence is high today. Let me go ahead and just throw it on back and calm my nerves." So, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, that was really uncomfortable. I didn't understand what he was doing. I was like, "What is this?" And she was just
Yeah.
like, he was like, "Look at me." Da, 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 da. I was like, "What?"
They're
Like,
both like sex symbols. She's like a flirty girl who, the men really find really attractive. And then, we know he's a stripper. So they have probably sexual energy and that's it. Like,
yes, child. The streets have been talking to about him being about him being somebody was like because I guess they had a digital exclusive with Sharice and him
I
said
should
she was
say
like
alleged.
yes. Then she was like I misjudged you, you know. She was like I let Kaden get in my head about you, and like she was like she just was telling me that you were a stripper and everything according to your IG. And I was like, and then somebody in the comments was like, well, have y'all been to his page, because he's definitely giving stripper vibes, like this is definitely look like this is happening. So but Mike, we would love it if that's not what you're doing, bro. I would
Wait,
love an explanation
Mike, like, why are you not telling us that you're a stripper? Why are you not saying it on the show? Like, you could be showing the ladies some of your moves. Like, they might want to. This might
he
help
wants to
your.
show he wants to show Kayla first and Brandy forever. That's what he wants to do.
I mean, they're gonna get into a relation. Then he's gonna bust out and be like, "So I just want you to know, I'm a stripper on the side." Like, what if she
Yeah,
don't want a man that shows his goods?
right. Well, see, this is the problem with this, with what's going on in this show, where I'm like, okay, it's really like, again, like I say, Samson is like the number one for me, because I'm like, is anybody really on this show looking for love? Because I'm like, y'all, Samson seems to be the only one that has really like deep conversations. I said, nobody has yet had conversations about like, can you just explain to me? I mean, Sharice has definitely asked some things, has asked some stuff of like other people, like, well, tell me about this or whatever. Like, but as far as on a consistent basis with the people that have connections, like actual connections, I've not yet seen anybody, specifically Mike and Brandy, have these important questions of like, all right, so, what does this look like? What does that look like? And child, yeah, we'll move on to that in a second. But yes, so this dinner, we had that awkward moment. Then we had obviously Jamala with saying, rah, rah, you got many connections and I'm not understanding. You gotta, decide that who you are. He was like, Jamala put me out there like that. I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, yeah, that was interesting. But she, so that was interesting. But I think the biggest thing was Shakira
Your breakdown.
kind of breaking down this whole thing about like, we're women, we don't do this to each other, things were shared. And she was like, I thank you to all the men that have been delicate with me, that have shown concern, and that whatever. Now, I will say that I did feel that before, because I'll forget. I will say that I definitely didn't appreciate Brandy kind of out in Samson being like, Samson, you can't give everybody a gift. And I was like, but I mean, he actually has been consistent. Like,
Bringing
she
you.
wouldn't know that though, because, but that's just him. That's his thing. That's his love language. He likes to give gifts. And so I don't think that
Opposite of justice.
yeah, I don't think that it was like, I don't think it was a manipulation tactic. I just think that that's just who he is. And so, I mean, a man at 48 years old who probably making buku money, he probably like, I'm good. But so I didn't like that Brandy like try to out him about that. I was like, girl, sit yourself down. What is Mike giving you?
Speaking of buku money, LJ mentioned that he was a millionaire. And I was like, okay, LJ, what does he do again?
I don't remember.
I was like, all right, millionaire.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I thought he just worked for like the government or something.
Yeah, is it a government data and
Specialist or
something like that, or
something.
like a risk, government risk, something, whatever. Yeah, so he might. I mean,
Like, what government he worked for and he a millionaire? The Jamaican government? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not
maybe
sure.
he has like a side job, like a side entrepreneurship or something. Because I was just like, oh, okay. But back to Shakira. I don't know. No, I think that Katie can come off harsh.
Could be a
But
break. Mm-hmm.
yes, but I still don't know what she said that just outed Shakira so bad. Like, I'm just not even sure if Shakira's tears were valid. Like,
Yeah.
did we miss something?
Yeah, I think that, so there's somebody on, I don't know, I would shout out the YouTuber, but there's somebody on here that does like quick, like they go through the show and put their own like what they're feeling, like the actual like castmates are feeling like underneath all this, or the subtext.
Mm-hmm.
So the one when she first started coming through with the tears, the one person was like, the person who channel this is was like, she wants to self eliminate. um and so that's the thing. Like, I think that she realized that she really wasn't really ready for this process, and it was just like kind of trying to find. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, because even when Katie said, she was like, no, I actually was the one that was fighting to not tell your story on
Mm.
national television. So she's like, I'm confused. Like, you're not about to play me. So yeah,
Even
I don't
nobody
know.
even spoke up and said, no, Katie didn't tell us your business. Like, or nobody was like, it just seemed like nobody really came to her defense. I mean, of course they were wanted to calm her down. They didn't want her crying, but it wasn't like they were like, if Katie actually did that, I would think other people would come to her defense and be like, yeah, Katie, and that was messed up. But nobody really said that. So I was just like,
Yeah, it was
even
confusing.
happened.
And definitely, and nobody came to Shakira's defense but Trinika when she walked out
Well,
and was
Trinika's
like,
just a sweet person, I guess. That's what Trinika ain't ready for love neither. She's just nice. That's what her. That's what LJ and Trinika might need to hook up because they're just two nice people.
yes, they definitely seem to be on each other's more. Hmm. But yeah, so yes, I don't know. Shakira, I wish you all wellness and healing, because there's definitely a lot of work that really still needs to happen, especially because you're a mom. Um, just do the work, like really do the work, girl, because I feel like how you showed up was just not, once you talked about it, and it was continuously revisited, and we just found you like in tears consistently. It wasn't adding up. Now Katie definitely made a post, an IG post, saying that she definitely feels that her character was pretty much being attacked, and multiple people's characters on the show was being attacked. She said all of this was just specific, like, she said they did multiple activities through the filming of Ready to Love Miami, where she's like, we did so many things together. We were over each other's houses. She's like, we filmed so much. And she said, none of you guys got to see any of that. She was like, we as women were getting along, and so unfortunately and this is the thing. Now, this is definitely on her fault. I don't know why she would be on the show that she didn't really do any concrete researching, especially her being in the beauty industry, where I'm pretty sure you use a lot of time to do research on hair type, products, whatever, and looking at all these logistics and margins, profit margins. So my thing is that you being an entrepreneur in a industry where you definitely have to know what you're doing.
Mm.
I'm just really surprised that you did not, and as witty as you come off, that you did not do the full research to see, like, okay, this definitely can be some drama,
Well,
but
it's a reality show. She got to realize they're trying to make a show too. So, of course,
right.
they're going to go with the most appealing, whether it's drama or, they're going to go with that stuff. So, Katie seems to go. I noticed that every time, like, that somebody catches a bad rep on the show, whether it was
Hmm.
Zoe or whomever, for whatever reason, they always end up calling Katie, and she'd be like, well, I talked to them last night and they were really upset. And so, because even when her and Swayze had their little breakdown, she even was like giving him grace. She was like, well, until I talk to him about it, I'm not going to discuss it. But what's her name? Called her.
Sharice.
Oh, yeah, Sharice called her. See,
He
so,
called me.
right. So it was like whenever somebody had like a bad moment on the show for whatever, Katie and be like, she always defends them. It's like
Hmm.
maybe she felt like, I know I might be coming off as a bully and I don't want that to happen to others. So I'm going to defend like everyone who comes off as, she did it with Zoe. And like I said, she extended grace to Swayze when they had their issue, which she might have realized that she was wrong in the Swayze situation.
I hope so, because I was confused. Right, because you know I mean, she said that her friend, she was like, she's gonna really grill him and did it, whatever. And then she said, what she say? She said, I'm a roast him, or whatever she said. She said she was gonna do something to Swayze, and she was like, don't you worry about it. And she got all up in his biz and just was like, you know, saying him not dating black women for 3 years in his dating scene was very concerning and a red flag for her.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's move on to the next episode. I mean, ultimately, Shakira got eliminated from that episode, and so now it's the girls, the ladies' turn to eliminate a guy, and so which brings us to these dates where Swayze and Kadian, well, they brought their friends along this time. The ladies brought their friends along on the dates to, so their friends could kind of help them figure it out. And who was that? Trinika's friends couldn't stand Justice.
They say Trinika, it's in my bones.
He was like, that's some dog. That's some dog. I could smell that dog shit a mile away. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, I know how I am. I can discern everybody else's issues and problems, but when it come to my own, they like, yeah, girl, you trash. I said, ooh. I was like, well, all right. I said, okay. So, but yeah, no, she, yeah, well,
they were right.
Yeah, no, he definitely tried it. He was like, so in 5 years, what do you see? He's like, I don't
look into the future.
I don't know. It's up to God. Jeremiah 29:11. I was like, don't do that.
Like, what?
Don't do that. No. We're not going to do that. Because I'm like, if you're really over here reading your Bible, you would know that there is, you would know that at the end of the day, you still have to adhere to certain laws of this is how life should work, and you as a man should be doing these sort of things. Not I'm just relaxing and just
doing. You nervous? Like, yeah, I think I did good. I think I made a good impression. I quoted the Bible. I was like, oh.
And then I was thinking when he said in 5 years, I'm like, but at least this is what you said you did. You're an event planner. So I'm like, what you mean you don't plan? Like, just lies upon lies. Oh God, just cosmic love.
And I think he's so slick with it, and it's like,
I'm like, you believe your own BS. That's so sad.
He really does.
I'm like, and there's gonna be some woman like Trinika that's gonna get caught up in your web, and you're gonna be like, perfect. This is the perfect girl for me because she's gonna believe everything. Because when he even said, when they asked him, well, when it comes to loyalty, like, have you ever been unloyal? He was like, absolutely. Like, why are you even asking me? I'm like, I mean, I appreciate your honesty and the one thing that you're honest about, but you said it like, who hasn't been unloyal or whatever? Like, everybody's unloyal. Like, you said it like it was a normal thing. I'm just like, what is wrong with him? Yeah, no. Yeah. But yeah, Justice, yeah, he and then he was like sitting back and he was like looking at the interaction with, I guess, Rara and her friends, and he was like, I said, what are you doing? And he was like, all right, I'm about to go. He was like, I'm not gonna sit here, if I'm here with listening to a woman that I'm, have a connection with, I'm gonna listen to what she doing with another man. I was like, oh no, yeah, you a little dangerous.
Yeah, he's.
See, the thing is that he wants what Brandy and Mike has. That's what he wants. But see, him and Brandy also went out. She's like, Justice, they didn't play it on the show. It's a digital exclusive on YouTube. But like they even went out on a date and she was like, so why now? She said, you've never even approached me. She was like, I don't even have your number. And he was like, why not now? What's wrong? I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, no.
He only had Trinika fooled. Trinika's the only one.
I don't see you this way. I don't see you that way. I was like, oh, Tronika.
It's like, well, the ladies think, not me, but the ladies think. I'm like, come on now.
But let me tell you something about Tronika, because she made a little comment about her when LJ was with that, like doing her little his little guitar playing, and she was like, take the panties off
Oh
now.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, Tronika wants some of Cosmic Love. That's what I'm saying. He sprayed some of his juju juice upon her, and he was like, just close your eyes and imagine. And she been hooked ever since, because she probably like, oh, I can imagine me and Justice. I'm telling you, like Tronika, she might be nice little, she nice little woman, but Tronika a freak, because Tronika is ready to get it in. She like, if I leave here with somebody, the first thing that we're going to do is go right to my place or his place, and I'm going to get it in. I'm telling you, because as she makes these comments where she be like, oh, yes, I like it hard. Yes. Like, I'll be like, oh, Tamika. She's like, yep, Ramy. Because even when LJ was doing a little, playing a little golfing, and she was like, yep, yep, I love it. Just like that, Ramy. I was like, it's like, no, wait a minute. Yeah, no, she a little freaky deaky. Yeah, she ready to get her back split. Okay. So yeah, Tronika might just be, I don't know, she had been having a dry season and she ain't had none in a while. Or she just like, oh no, anybody I'm committed to, they get all of me. So
That's why she be
freaky
having them
Tronika.
breasts out.
Yeah. So she look, I mean, I was starting to wonder how that wrist really got hurt. She was like, you wanna try this? Oh, got caught up in something. So yeah, Tronika, you gotta watch out for her. She got some things going on behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
And LJ being an island man, he probably like, oh, Tronika, we can do it. Whatever you want. You can come on my
They
yacht.
need to hook it up. They need to hook up more. They need to hook up more. I like them, LJ and Trinika. Like them
Mhm.
together.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway. So yeah. So Justice messed his little self up. That was the first little mess up there. Uh, I wouldn't say that Swayze messed himself up, because again, at this point, Swayze, the only connection really is with Katie, and I think everybody else is just like cool with Swayze, but I don't
Right.
think anybody else is really checking for him. So he's probably going to be gone soon. Um, and then Samson did meet Sharice's friend, and Sharice's friend was like, I really like him, like solid man. Which we not. I mean,
Yeah,
that's.
and Brandy's friend felt the same way. But
I
she
know
was
she was.
kind of like, I don't know whether you should choose him or Mike. Like, I like both of them.
But then she was like, but then Mike came in and I saw that cold thing, and I was like, yeah, you saw what you saw. And then what was interesting was Mike, Kayla, and Randall's date, and her and her friend breaking down crying, and she was like, I just really feel like, she's like, the whole time Randall was looking at you and giving you eye contact, but you was looking
You
at
was getting
Mike
the
the whole time.
right.
Yeah, was looking at Mike the whole time, and like I said, she's right. I would say that Randall would be more of a solid man for her, because again, Mike has his full attention really on Brandy, and if between them it's really just sexual. That's just what
Yeah.
it is. So, but yeah, so that's that. And yeah, Justice going home, well deserved. That's exactly where he should have been 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
from, from the first time. Cause child.
It was just like somebody
Whew.
else would just do something so like terrible that they ended up getting eliminated. But it was like, dang, Justice got saved again because Zoe didn't act up. Or, but finally it was like time for him to go.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens this week. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to really figure out like
So if
who.
I had to say it's in the men to eliminate a woman, right? It's on the men now, right?
Yes.
So I would say if I had to choose who would get, it would be, I think, Kadian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably Kadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because although Kadian asks important questions, I think just like we keep saying, she just comes off kind of abrasive a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that is. I want to say, yeah, I take that back. What I said earlier, as far as nobody's asking, but Kadian is like she is the lawyer of the show. I don't know if she did any, which again, which is why I said when she made that IG post about her not being like researching the show before she got on. I'm like, girl, that's anti your whole persona that you've been showing us. Like you ask, you dig in deep. So you gotta make it make sense with that one. I don't know if I believe you with that one. I'm like you. She said she only saw little clips. But I'm like, well, there was definitely little clips of drama on
that's
on yeah. So I was like, I don't know. But yeah.
yeah,
But
probably
yeah,
because she only connected with Swayze anyway, right?
correct.
But I don't know who else would vote for her. I mean, I guess Mike, because her and Mike are friends, so he really wouldn't want to see her go. But then again, he might say, I haven't made a. She's like my friend, my sister, my friend. I don't have a connection with her, so and
Yeah.
she hasn't connected with Samson or Randall. And who else is left? That's everybody, right? And LJ. So no,
Yeah.
yeah, it probably will be Katie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see y'all, but let us know in the comment sections what you guys think. I do know that as far following other commentary that people definitely have been saying this is the most boringest season, which is which it definitely seems to be dragging for sure. And it hasn't been as interesting and intriguing as the prior other seasons. So I would definitely have to agree. I'm gonna say boring, but as far as like yeah, like people like seeing like, man, I can see these people together. I can see these people. Oh, yes, they're good, whatever. Because normally at this point, you're leaving with people like probably having between two to three couples that like have a connection. And here again, you will Mike and Brandy at this point will probably might be really the only whatever because even though I think that Sharice does like Samson and I think that again Samson I'm not sold that Sharice is so completely on him because I wonder if it seems like she wants to have kids. So I don't know where Samson, I don't know if they've had that conversation. And so being here that he is almost 50, is she like is he saying like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want kids. So
I think he wants kids. I think so.
oh, okay.
Seems like I remember him saying, yeah, he wants to
Yeah,
hold.
I felt like, but I felt like it was like a conversation like I don't have any kids, but I know how important kids are and I wouldn't mind dating a woman with kids. Like I felt like but I don't really remember him saying like he wanted children. I don't know. But he could have. That was
I
some
think, yeah, I think what it'll be between them is that she's very independent and she's a businesswoman. So I think the distraction of that or the what it takes to be who she is for a business may come between them if they were to ever to try anything. I think he may require a little bit more of her attention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to go ahead and end this, and we'll see you in the next episode of Cuzzo Convo. Make sure that you love up on that like button, subscribe, share, of course. And yeah, we need to get these numbers up. We know we got to do things on our part as well. But yeah. But like I said, we're coming back obviously with Love and Marriage.
Yes.
So yeah. Yes. But y'all be well. Peace. We out.